I have been a bit behind on my recording lately, but we are back for a month 2 results of Turkesterone. We will go over pictures, we will go over weights, we will go over body measurements, we will go over pretty much everything that we can in detail, and I will let you know at the end of the video if I think that the Turkesterone is working or not. My name is Nick, or Exercise for Cheat Meals, and I make fitness videos such as this one, and I also do anabolic recipes that are low calorie, high protein, and absolutely delicious. So if you're into that kind of thing, like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't seen my first month's results, or if you haven't seen my initial program design, I would definitely go check that out, as we are already in month 2 and almost month 3 at the point of recording. So the next video should come out in just a few weeks. Going into week 4 from month 1, we got to 206, and that was because of Thanksgiving and the Bulls game and whatever. So week 5, back down to 204 after, you know, the bloat went away, the water went away from going out from the Bulls game and Thanksgiving. And then the next week was 205.6, but I only logged 4 days. Then I went to Austin. That's the reason I didn't log my scale weight while I was in Austin. And also while I was in Austin, I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I knew that this month would be very difficult for me, not only because I was going to Austin, but also because it was my birthday the following week, and also Christmas and then New Year's. I said at the start of the journey, I didn't care if I gained a little bit of weight, especially 4 or 5 pounds, not a big deal. It's gonna come off in the first couple weeks of cutting, or my mini cut that I have planned, and it just comes along with it. I get to enjoy what I'm eating. I'm not like thinking about how much I'm eating, this, that, and the other. In week 5, I went from 204 to 205.6 in week 6, up to 209.3 during my birthday week, and then up to 211.3 on average for the week of Christmas. Now, I think most of this is water weight. Once we get to the pictures, I will show you, but I only think I gained an actual couple pounds of fat over this last month or so, and it's been three weeks of pure indulgence. And again, I don't regret any of it. Not a big deal to me. It's the middle of winter in Chicago. So between all of these events, that's why I think it's a big deal for people to not always focus on the scale and like what's going on, because you'll see with my lifts and everything, they went absolutely terrifically, and you don't have to be lean all the time or worry about what you're eating all the time. Really not a big deal. As we get to the pictures here, you'll see the added weight on me, like I said, and it's both because of the amount of calories I ate and was in a surplus, and also because of the sheer amount of calories I was eating. So not only was my food volume up, but my water volume, my body water, was definitely up as well. The first pictures we'll compare are from the last month. The front relaxed picture, the little bit of a difference I see is literally, for me, everything goes straight to my hips. And you can see it comes off a little bit more on each side, and I could see a little bit of a bigger layer of fat over my abdomen region. However, my shoulders look the same, my chest looks the same. You'll see in other pictures, my legs look the same, and my face looks the same as well. Now let's go to the front flexed. And again, the front flexed, you can see that my love handles are a little bit bigger. You can also see that I have a little bit more fat tissue on my stomach. However, everything else looks pretty similar. Then when we look from the back, again, you could see in my love handle area that it does stick out a little bit more, but all the same definition in my back. Arms look the same. Like I said, I really don't see much of a difference besides my actual problem area. What's good though is when I start losing weight, that's the first place that it'll come from. But right now, that's where it added. As far as my clothes fitting, by the way, my clothes fit exactly the same. My belt at the gym, when I do deadlifts and all that, it's on the same belt notch. Nothing is different. So people are like, oh my God, you gained some weight. Yeah, it's really not noticeable, especially in clothes, and all of my clothes fit the same. Like not even tight. Let's look at my back flex. Again, same story, love handles. I think that everything else looks pretty similar there. Between me not having a tan and me gaining some weight, these pictures from 2 months ago are gonna look significant, but trust me, it's not. And you know, if you don't trust me now, we'll wait until we do my mini cut and I do my scans and all that stuff later on. However, let's look at my front relaxed. You could still see the lines where my abs would be, but it's definitely not as close to my actual ab muscles in general. The tan helps that, and also less fat over the abdomen. And you can see my love handle sticking out more. I'm definitely have a little bit more vascularity. Both, I think I have a little bit higher of a body fat percentage on my arms, and also the tan. And pretty much everything else looks the same. It's really hard when you look at my body when it's white and versus when it's tan. I wish I had a comparable picture to show the two, because I don't think the differences would look as drastic if I was tan in both, or if I was white in both. Same difference. All right, front flex. Obviously you can't see my legs in the original. I didn't crop it the right way. And I also did a vacuum pose in my first one versus my last two, I did not. But overall, pretty much everything looks the same. I feel great. Like, I've been running on a surplus of calories. Really, it feels like in the gym for this whole month, there was really no stopping me. Then when we look at the back flex, like I said, if you look at the striations and everything, they look exactly the same, but don't look as good because they're not darker. To me, back looks pretty much the same, besides, again, the lower love handle area. Now, some of you might be saying, oh, Nick, man, you're getting fat, you need a cut. Oh, you know, you're getting too big. First of all, I've been 260 pounds. I know what getting big is, and I'm very comfortable at my body weight. I am not worried about losing weight right now. It is the middle of January. Everyone's wearing winter coats. It's literally below 0 wind chill outside. I'm not going to a beach. I'm not doing any of that sort of thing. My clothes are fitting fine. You know, I don't feel bad. Like, there's no reason for me to change what I'm doing. Like, yes, I'm a higher body fat percentage than a lot of the popular influencers are, but to me, that really doesn't matter right now. And I will get leaner later on in the summer, or should I say spring. And let's look at what I look like in pictures that or actually a video that I just took right before I started recording this video that we're recording right now. Now, this is a medium shirt. I usually wear tighter shirts, but this is about the tightest shirt that I own, and we're gonna see actually how I look here. I'm gonna start with the front. You could see my lats come out. You can still see my chest looks big. You know, people say when you get fat, it's like, people are like, do you even lift, or you just look like a fat guy? You tell me, do I look like I lift or not? Here's me from the side, and then here's me from the side with my arm back, so you can see how thick I actually am. Then here's me from the back. I still have a V-taper that comes down. You could kind of see my hips a little bit, but it's nothing substantial. Here's me from my other side pose. And with my arm back, I mean, you tell me again in the comment section, does it look like I lift or not? And at the bottom of my shirt here, you could see just a little bit of my like looser skin / fat. But overall, I look pretty good in clothes. Like, I am not self-conscious whatsoever. And that's the big thing that I hate about the fitness industry. It's like, you gotta be a certain body fat. Oh, if you get above 15, like, you really gotta worry. Like, no, like it's different for everyone. And really, I've been in such a worse spot before that this is nothing. Like, I don't feel unhealthy. Like I said, I have a bunch of energy. I feel great. I'm getting great sleep, great recovery. And let's see how I look with a little bit of posing. So we got the side by, got the tricep. Triceps are looking pretty mean. I still got some pretty good cuts. I still got some pretty good vasculature. And this is at night. This is like 10 o'clock right now at night. So I've eaten multiple meals. This isn't like first thing in the morning or anything like that. So I would look even skinnier if this was tomorrow morning. And this is 3 weeks after my second month ended. So just a spoiler, I'm actually a little bit heavier than I was at the beginning of this month. So this would look worse, if anything, than it would have when I took the pictures 3 weeks ago when my second month ended. You look at the pictures and you must go, my body measurements must have went up, right? Wrong. When we go to my first month to second month and my initial measurements, we can see that into the first month, I lost a little bit on my arms, which I said was due to just probably measurement error. And then I lost a pretty significant amount in my waist, which I wanted to see what happened in month 2. And my chest went up a little bit. Coming into month 2, I lost a little bit more in my waist and that arm measurement went back up a little bit past where I started. So that could be measurement error again. But I think the biggest thing here is I gained weight. You could obviously see I gained some fat in my waist area, but where you actually take the measurement is at the skinniest part of your waist, in between the nipple line and the hip, and the skinniest point actually got skinnier. So even though I gained fat here, somehow this area where I'm like the skinniest lost weight, or there's less body water there or something. Super interesting, but it's just a case of where I actually take the measurement. And another interesting thing though is you take the hip measurement at the biggest part of where your butt sticks out, and that went down a 1/2 inch. Now I didn't have the initial measurements there, but I also found that very, very interesting. Now my thighs did go up a little bit, but that could be measurement error. I want to see in the next one, because my thigh measurement, it's very weird taking a thigh measurement, and I want to see if that's consistent for 2 months in a row. That's when I start seeing consistencies for 2 months in a row that, okay, this might be more than just a trend or a blip on the radar or coincidence. This might be something that is actually working. And that's why I think my waist measurement actually went down, but where my like jeans would actually button didn't go down, that went up, if anything, as you saw with my Calvin Klein underwear like squeezing at the hips. I said gaining fat was all well and good, and I really am okay with that, but it's for the sake of also adding muscle. So the question is, do I think I added some muscle? Let's look at my lifts. So from my initial measurements to my month 1, I had went up about 10%, and then crazy enough, like these are pretty huge increases. My month 1 to month 2 also went up 10% in volume. So I went up 20% in volume. I mean, you could ask my coach, Johnny Shreve, how my form is. I send him videos a couple times a week typically. I keep the shit consistent. It's not like some placebo thing. It's just super crazy how much I've been able to increase the weight over the last 2 months. This is like gains I haven't seen since I did a dirty ass bulk when I got up to 260 pounds. Pretty insane. The question at the end of the day for everyone is, do you think the Turk is working, or do you think it has had an effect on your training or anything like that? I would say 100% yes. It's not like when I go into the gym, I feel that I'm on Turk, but when I go into the gym, I'm consistently hitting PRs in at least half up to all of my lifts, whether that be an extra rep, whether that be more weight. I'm literally hitting PR, 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 PR. And for a lot of this, even for the first 2 weeks of this month, I was in a maintenance phase. I was not gaining any weight, and I went out and drank and whatever, and that should, if anything, take away from my gains. I 100% think it's working, and I just don't know if the strength and the increases in the strength will transfer over to muscle. It should, but until the actual end of this cycle, I cannot give a definitive answer if I think you should buy it, or who should buy it, or how much it actually worked, until I strip that fat back off and I see what my physique looks like at the very end of the day. So of course, at the end of the cycle, I'm gonna do a full video on if I think Turkesterone is worth it, who should take it, who shouldn't take it, all that stuff. But for now, without a shadow of a doubt, like I haven't made these kind of gains in the gym in forever, like newbie, like before I even really knew what form was and all that stuff. So back then I might have just been like using more momentum for all I know. The gains have been pretty insane, and I've been looking bigger and bigger in the mirror, bigger and bigger pumps. Yeah, I'm just really happy with the results I've had so far. If you have any questions or concerns, comments, please let me know in the comment section below. I love the comments that say like, bro, you don't even look like you lift, blah, blah, blah. That really doesn't bother me. If that's what you think, that's fine. But there's way more positive comments. You guys have been super supportive with this series overall. And I really want to give you guys the most honest feedback that I can possible. I know that I'm a Gorilla Mind athlete, but at the end of the day, like, if I don't think it's worth it for certain people, I'm going to tell you. If I don't think it gained me any muscle, I'm going to tell you, and the pictures are going to tell you for itself. And that's why I'm doing such an in-depth coverage of this. Like, this takes a long time to take all these notes, do all these videos, and make sure I'm doing everything as meticulously as possible. So make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, I will see you in that next one. Deuces.